Hi, everyone. Welcome to our virtual presentation of Blackout, a series of interconnected stories about Black teens in love during one summer heat wave blackout in New York City. Today, we are here with authors Dhonielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Ashley Woodfolk, Nic Stone, Angie Thomas, and Nicola Yoon. And joining them tonight is our moderator, Adam Silvera. Before we begin, please take a gander at the Ask a Question button at the very bottom of the screen. We'll be answering audience questions towards the end of the event, so send us your questions through there. And you can also vote for any questions you'd like, and they'll make their way to the very top of the list. Also, please consider supporting Vroman's Bookstore by purchasing a copy of Blackout tonight. You can click on the green purchase button directly below the viewer's screen, and it will take you to our website. Vroman's is the oldest independent bookstore in Southern California and is thanks to avid readers like yourselves who keep our lights on. So every bit of support goes a very long way. Okay, so let me introduce Adam, and then Adam will introduce everybody else. So Adam Silvera is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of Infinity Reaper, Infinity Sun, They Both Die at the End, More Happy Than Not, History is All You Left Me, and What If It's Us and Here's to Us. All his novels have received multiple starred reviews, and he worked in the publishing industry as a children's bookseller, community manager at a content development company, and a book reviewer of children's and young adult novels. All right, so let's give a warm virtual welcome to our guests. Enjoy the talk, everyone.
And Adam's very tall.
Yes, I am tall. So, I do not have your formal bios because I didn't know I was going to be launching you all into this. So I'm going to talk about how I know all of you, and we're going to just like go from there. So starting, I don't know, okay, is everyone seeing Nick and Nikki on top of me?
No.
No. Okay, cool. All right, well, I'm going to go by my own window, and I'm going to start with Nic Stone, who is the best-selling author of Dear Martin and a bunch of other books. Like, Nick, if I try, like, we could probably play a game of me trying to list all your published works right now, and I would no doubt, like, miss, like, one or two because you are just, like, too prolific for this world. So, Nick, I first met in Georgia, I believe at the Decatur Book Festival, where I got to hang out with you for, like, a minute, and then you saw one Miss Nicola Yoon, and it was just like, Nicola, Nikki!
No lies detected.
Yes,
not a single one.
And our debut novels.
That was smart decision making on Nick's part.
I was like so
100%.
fan. I was like, Adam, you're really cool, but that's Nicola Yoon. I'm dying.
And it was dope because look how it played out. I'm not part of Blackout today, right? Like no one asked me, Dhonielle, to contribute to Blackout. So that's its own conversation later for after the event. But yeah, so then Nick ran to Nikki. Nikki, I have known since we published our debuts in 2015 along with Dhonielle. And Nikki and I first met at ALA Midwinter, where she had finished reading More Happy Than Not and came up to me and was like, "You made me cry." And
so mad. I remember being I was like, I am just punching a stranger now. Like I didn't.
Yes.
I was so genuinely upset. I was like, what is your problem?
And you've asked me that after every other book since then. So it's our lovely little tradition. And then Dhonielle Clayton, we debuted in 2015, but also on the same day. We were Pub Day twins, June 2nd, 2015. What? Tiny Pretty Things and More Happy Than Not. And we weren't able to make each other's launch parties because we thought it would be okay to have the launch party in the same day in New York City. So people were like going back and forth between Books of Wonder and McNally Jackson. So that was fun. Ashley Woodfolk is one of my fellow publishing professionals turned authors. And so we are often the people in our friend groups who people are like, is this shit normal in publishing? Or am I being played? Like, what's the deal? And Miss Angie Thomas, I met back. When did we first meet, Angie? Okay, wait. When did we like meet? Because we chatted. So we had the same agent at one point, and then we had a phone call because you were going to sign with our former agent, and you had wanted to chat with a different client. and that client turned out to be me, and you still had your job, and
I was
you were just,
reading
like,
More Happy Than Not.
You were reading More Happy Than Not, and you were a fan.
And I was mad at you.
You were mad at me, and I was an hour late to our call because I was hung over after a night in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, can you just give me an extra hour? And called you back, took a call out on the stoop. I was so charmed by you immediately, and that was lovely. And then Miss Tiff Jackson, who I'm currently reading White Smoke right now, and it is everything that I like.
Stressful.
What? Yeah, I really am just like everything already with the bed bugs. I'm just like, oh my god. and Tiff, when did we first meet? Because I allegedly was that 2017 when that first. Okay, but I know that we had crossed paths, like pre-pub as well. I'm blanking. But we were New York circles, and I think we.
Yeah, I feel like we've met several times.
Yeah.
Yes, but obviously we all hit it off. Anyway, so love you all. I would have done this event anyway, but it came along with a note from one Miss Nic Stone that said that I had to say yes to moderate this event. So I was not really given a choice tonight.
No, you weren't. I'm glad you
happy to
recognized.
be here. So those are my formal introductions to all of you. So I have a few questions I want to ask you guys tonight. Most of them are going to be fun. And yeah, so to like kind of keep it first, who wants to describe the project? And just this
Dhonielle does.
Dhonielle does. Why do I? How dare you?
Bro, it's your project. What you mean?
Exactly.
Also, Dhonielle, the name of the book is Blackout, just so you know, in case you want to call it Black Love.
Black Love?
That
yeah.
Title again.
Look, I had a long day, okay? I had a very long day.
Just as a reminder.
It was the best. It was the best.
Yeah.
Called Blackout. I don't even know why. I was so tired that day.
We wrote a book called Black Love. We were like, no, Dhonielle, that's not what it's called.
Okay, so this book is about sort of 13 teenagers who are going to try to fall in love over the course of one night in a blackout. And it came about because my niece. Oh yes, my niece and I watch all of these shows and read all of these books, young adult books. And she asked me, why don't the Black girls get big love stories in like all of the TV programming that we watch? And I was like, oh shoot, you're right. Let me do something about that. Then the pandemic started. And then I was like, oh, this is really sad. It's like very stressful. So I'm doing a terrible job at explaining this to you. I'm sitting here. And so then I was like, oh, we should write this book because the city has like blacked out and like no one's outside. It's really scary. It's really stressful. I know my niece was bugging out about not being at school. And so I was like, yay, let's write this book. They're going to tell you that I bullied them into this, but it was really, I called everyone and said, we should do this.
Raise your hand if you felt bullied by Dhonielle Clayton.
Cool. You turncoats!
Love it.
I mean, we're not complaining.
No.
Right, like we're not complaining about the fact that you basically told us we had to write this book or you weren't going to be friends with us anymore. Like, we're not complaining about it.
It's called leadership skills.
We're not scarred emotionally.
It's called leadership skills, okay?
Marco Shio's raising their hand.
Mark is also raising their hand. Okay, so. Mark is also raising their hand.
All right, so there are 6 stories. Everyone has written a story. Can you describe your story in 6 words? Also, as you're thinking about that, for those at home, I have this handy little whiteboard here where if we're taking too long for someone to answer a question, I'm going to randomly choose a name here with my eyes closed and just tap at something. So this is how we keep the event moving tonight. So who would like to go first before you get called on?
We should go in order since Tiff started with the long walk.
But I have to do 6 words?
Yeah, just like what would you describe your story, or like what words would you use, or it could be plot, it could be how you feel about it.
So I guess maybe like two are exes forced to work together to make it home.
You
Exes
did it.
forced to work together too. That's it. Cliffhanger. All right.
Wait, does it have to be a sentence?
No, whatever you want.
Oh, well, yeah, that was it.
It was perfect.
I'm ready. Because I'm next.
We should go in order of the book, the stories.
Oh,
Is it Nick next?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
No.
I'm counting.
Boys on a train remove masks.
Boys.
Hey!
Nic Stone.
Better do better.
That was some
I mean, I do
best-selling
this
shit
for
right
a living. You know what I'm saying? Like, I write for a living, you know?
there. I believe Ashley is next.
Yes. Two girls. Missing photo. Old people.
Can I do Ashley's? Because I just thought of it too.
Go
Yeah.
for it.
Love for old people sparks fire.
What was it? One more time?
Love for old people sparks fire.
Oh, wait. Do you have a bonus word in there?
No.
Love
No,
for
that's
old
it.
people
No.
sparks. Oh, that was 6. Holy shit. Okay, cool. Oh, no, I was like wondering if there was like, I thought it was 5 words. Okay, I can't count. All right, so then I think Dhonielle is next.
It's me. Best friends figure out hidden feelings.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay.
Angie Thomas.
Angie Thomas.
I can't do 6.
Yes, you can.
No, I cannot. It's 7. I can't do 6. I'm a rebel.
All right, let's see what you got.
Let's
see what you
hear
got.
it.
Girl stuck on bus with boyfriend and crush.
Girls stuck
that's
on
more than-
bus with boys.
There you go. With boys. Girl stuck on bus
Boom.
with
Wait.
boys.
Okay, no, I gotta do it too. Wait. 2 boys, 1 girl, big choice.
I love Nic
No.
Stone remixes.
There you go.
All right, Nicola Yoon.
I'm not even gonna try.
Yes.
Aww.
I'm just doing it. There's no. It's late. Forget it.
I can do math. You can do math.
Wait, I got you. You know I got you. So go ahead.
All right, but it's 9. It's not 6.
We don't follow directions. No.
I'm sorry. I have to cut my manuscripts. Philosophical cab driver falls in love with grumpy girl.
We're all like, is anyone actually even counting?
It's 9. Yeah, it's 9 words.
All right, y'all ready?
Yes.
Ready.
A remix.
Ride, share, trip sparks new romance.
Come on, Nick. So
Nick all the questions and she'll answer all the questions.
No, what's
Great.
funny? What's funny is like I'm so much better at summarizing things than I am at like actually writing books. So if you ever need something summarized, holler at your girl.
Okay, well, your books are
Am I
fantastic.
right? Like y'all already know, for real.
She does most of my log lines.
yeah.
That's okay. Love that. All right. So now that we have a sense of what some of your stories are about, how did you guys arrive at the direction your story was going to take? Because they really do take, everything takes place in New York, but we have Stuck on a Train, we have masquerades, we have walking across the Brooklyn Bridge, we have libraries, we have old people, so like, how did you guys decide? Like, did you all kind of come to an idea of like what was going to intrigue you the most about a character during a
Dhonielle.
Blackout?
Dhonielle is the answer to this question.
Trying to hide.
Or did Dhonielle
Dhonielle just told us what to do. So
Literally.
basically what happened is Dhonielle sent us a list of tropes and she was like, pick one or I will pick one for you. And then after after we picked one, then we sort of came up with, okay, where were our stories were going to take place and stuff. So we all did the forced proximity trope, which is when people are stuck together, basically, because of the blackout. But then we layered another trope on top of that from the list that Dhonielle sent us and demanded that we pick one from.
Oh no, I got an assignment. I got like a whole assignment. Like you're doing Secret Crush on the Train. Like I was like, oh, okay, my bad.
Because don't try to play me, because Nic and Angie are not New Yorkers, so I wanted to give them a space that was easier to handle. And
you gave Nic like a hard space though. Like she had to figure out how to get people out of a subway in a blackout. Like New Yorkers don't even know that.
No, I know that shit.
Because
I know.
You do. You're literally the only person I know who actually knows. Because I asked literally 5 or 6 New Yorkers, and they were like, I don't know.
And
I don't think I would know.
Like, we need to do a tour bus, and so that's how Ange got her tour bus. So
see, that was not the impression. Also, this is such a testament to the success of the novel, because like it didn't read like you guys were assigned like stories. Like I was like, oh yeah, I see how non-New Yorker Angie is going to kind of like play it cool with a tour bus, you know? It's like I tried writing a character born in London recently and realized like, oh, I don't know what it's like to be born in London. Like I can't do that shit, right? Like I was like questioning every sentence. So I'm better off writing a character like visiting London than I am someone being raised in it. So like much to Angie's advantage of like writing a non-New Yorker. So yeah, it all read very seamlessly to me. I'm not sure that I would necessarily use Nic's story to dictate like how to escape a train during a blackout.
Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't use anything that like it was literally, we were in copy edits when I actually figured out how to do it. Like it got that close.
Oh my God. I feel like a disclaimer needs to go with your story though. Like, don't try this at home. But Tiffany, your character is the only one who kind of we meet through multiple chapters as she's like traveling through the city. When did that idea come about?
Because she did that. She did.
Look, she's so happy to point the finger at somebody else.
She's so excited to point the finger. Basically, when Dhonielle came to me with the idea, see, I'm saying it nicely. When she came to me with the idea, I was like, when she was trying to like say like it was like a Love Actually or Let It Snow or Valentine's Day, I'm like, well, I can only see then my story broken up into scenes. So that was the only way that I could write it, because you know I have a film background, so that's literally the only way I think. So I'm like, well, then I would like to break up my story, because it can't just be a blackout. And especially since, like, you know, New Yorkers, we experience blackouts here, and we know it affects the entire all 5 boroughs. And though we don't have all 5 boroughs in here, we have one of the main boroughs that everyone suffered in, which was Manhattan. Everyone was trying to literally escape Manhattan to get back home. So everyone was trying to get back to Brooklyn, back to the Bronx, back to Staten Island. So it was just a mass exodus of this one tiny island in the midst of everything. So I was willing to take that on, considering, I'm from here and I know exactly how a lot of that works. But yeah, that was basically my idea, which made our book slightly a bit more complicated because, you know, we were breaking up the story, but it also added such a richness to it because we were able to, you know, connect all of our stories in a very seamless way and very like, it was easy. Yeah, it was easy.
I was going to ask like what trials sort of like surface from that, just because, you know, like I've collaborated on the What If It's Us novels with Becky, and those are very just, she writes one character, I write one character, we go back and forth, right? Like you have multiple collaborators here. So I was like, how did you all sort of like, even for like the editing process of this novel, how did it work where it didn't feel like you were stepping on each other's toes or interfering with someone else's story? Like, did you guys have like a big group text as you were writing your own stories, or were you all just kind of writing in solitude and then you pieced it together later?
It was like all of the above.
Yeah.
Like actually like really comprehensive Google Doc where she charted things. Then we could all sort of weigh in and sort of check in on it because she loves a good Google Doc.
I love a Google Doc.
Okay. And then our beloved editor, Rosemary, was just watching.
Hey, Rosemary.
Hey,
Hi, Rosemary.
Was watching bird's eye view, right? And then also at the line level, and I was also reading everything.
Yeah.
So then I could sort of track what things like needed to be stitched together a little bit.
And since my story was sort of the spine of the novel, I kind of gave it. I was like, okay, go.
Yeah, basically, and we had to put everything within the framework of Tiffany's spine, which made it really easy because then we knew the cross streets were where were Kareem and Tammy. Great. Then we have the cross
insert next story.
Right.
Yeah.
Then the pause.
And I like went through and made like the neighborhoods, and the timestamps changed like up until the very last draft as far as like when each story was happening. But like knowing that, okay, Tammy and Kareem just walked through Times Square, so we know they're close to the library. So we know it's time for Dhonielle's story. Like that was basically how we figured it out. Like literally just like making a map of the city and doing the stories that way.
The hardest part was knowing where the sun was in the sky.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That was the hardest part because then descriptions had to change. Because I'd be like, by the time Tammy and Kareem get to Times Square, the sun is sinking.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of light.
And then it was like a debate because, of course, like me as the New Yorker knows that even though the sun is set, the sky may still be light, but it actually is pretty dark in some areas because buildings are so tall. So you're surrounded by shadows.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm always like, no.
Yeah.
Right. And then everything changes in a blackout anyway. It's still completely new zone. So
there were
God,
some
I
stories
hate
that
time
were-
of day shit.
Yeah, there were some stories that were easier to like move around. Like I think Nic's story originally was like somewhere else in the book, but it was not mattering because it was underground. So it could be So it was stuff like we had to make choices like that as we like organized it. But it was pretty easy, I would say.
Yeah.
And then like figuring out the connections was pretty easy. We just like added it to the Google Doc.
That was so much fun.
This person's sister, this person is this person's cousin, this person goes to school together, like whatever. And then just add it to your story.
And then we all had a quick question, like, yes, there's a group chat.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a group chat.
Yes.
Okay, love it. Angie, like, what were some challenges you found, like, from being and Nic, you as well? Like, Nic, you've never lived in New York, right? No? Okay, right. Nikki, you
I can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Me either.
So, what challenges did you guys face, like, being non-New Yorkers, like, writing these characters in New York?
I mean, I just had to figure out how to get off the damn subway. Like that was my main challenge.
But your story doesn't only take place on the train either.
No, it does. It's the subway and it's like the train, and then they get off and they're in the subway station.
But no, the flashback from the masquerade.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
Don't make me feel like I didn't read the book.
My bad. I mean, I did have. I mean, okay, so the scenes that were not on the subway, some of them took place in a high school, which high schools are high schools. The one scene that took place kind of out in New York City, I consulted with a friend who worked and lived in the area that I decided to set that part in. And like they were outside for like 5 minutes and then they go into a basement of a building. So basically I cheated the whole time. Though I got some assistance with like, okay, so what train station would they be at? I remember, I think it might have been Rosemary was like, no, we need them to get off at this station and like see each other there. But I did a lot of things underground. Like this is one of those things where like the specificity lended itself to universality, right? So they're in a high school. Okay, this is these are things that happen in a high school, no matter where the high school is. This is something that would happen at a masquerade party, whether it's in New York or whether it's in New Orleans. Like, I cheated is the answer.
Love it. Angie, did you cheat?
I feel like I did to a degree because it's like, you know, when you're talking about New York from a tourist perspective, you can write about it and have only seen it on like TV. New Yorkers, y'all are loud and y'all talk fast. I mean, anybody can write that, even if you've never been to New York.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of buildings and lights and not a lot of trees and stuff like that. But, you know, these New Yorkers in this call wanted to make sure I had the right streets and put them in the right parts of towns in the right neighborhoods. So, I had to see the right people and in like Chinatown or wherever it is. I better get it right. Soho, I better get it right. So, but it was fun writing it from a tourist perspective, since I'm technically a tourist. And I'm so glad I didn't have to put them on the subway, because I've only been on the subway once. I saw a rat. I've never returned.
Also,
so rats to themselves.
I can never get into subway.
They're just trying to get home, Angie. They're just trying to get home.
I saw a deer while walking my dog earlier. I saw a deer and I was cool with that. But a rat? No.
A rat almost ended up in the book.
It did.
Tiffany D. Jackson.
I still feel like it could have.
She wanted to put a rat in the book because they would come out in the Blackout and be
see, that's
so rats were gonna fall in love. Actually,
turned into a whole.
There's a whole rat thing.
This is the thing. You have such a range of authors here. Like, I associate like Tiffany writing rats, horror novel. Nikki's like the rats are gonna fall in love, love story. So
in mine, somebody would kill one of the rats.
In mine, the rats would just be crying.
Yeah. My rats would have magic.
Your rats would be talking shit.
Yeah.
Nick would have some very intelligent ass rats.
And mine are like one's brown and one's gray, and they're like dealing with rat racism or something.
Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim, but like the New York edition.
but like the race relations version.
Oh my God.
Oh, I want this book. Okay, well, you guys are teaming up again for that book. Nikki, as someone who hasn't, lived in New York in a minute, like, did you find that you had any sort of bumps along the way, especially with the way that like cities evolve and shit like that? What was your process?
Well, I mean, Google Maps is your friend, right? I mean, I just like zoomed in, but I mean, Rosemary had to fix it. She kept going back, like, "Well, I'm not sure if that's gonna be right here," and I mean, like, "Okay, Rosemary, okay, it's fine." Because even when I lived in New York, I was so like, I was a homebody. I never went out. I never did anything. I was still reading books. I never. So it's not like I'm from New York in name only. I just was home. So yeah, I mean, I Google Maps it, Rosemary, basically.
Love it.
Books the streets, but I also put them like, in a cab in a rideshare. So, if they were driving, he ran out of gas, whatever, it doesn't matter where they are, they're falling in love.
Doesn't matter.
Nikki's like, whatever.
They're falling in love. Okay. They could be adrift in the middle of the Hudson River and they would be falling in love.
Funny thing is, like, in my books, the first edit is always, can you put some scenery in here? Because it's the characters could be in space.
Right.
Because I don't care. I'm just like, they talk, they fall in love, and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, the first revision, I have to put shit in.
Well, guys, I want to talk about something really important here.
Oh,
the
boy.
Big O. Let's talk about the big O, the Obamas.
We're sitting here like, Adam, this could go so many ways. And I don't think those kinds of big O's were actually in this book. Just saying.
That is not what I was thinking.
So,
Can I tell the story?
yeah, please. What's the story with the Obamas?
My God, because all of these women, just were hilarious. So film agent calls me. She texts me. She's like, I have a little news. And I was like, what is it? I was like, oh no. And she was like, oh, the Obamas are going to be producing Blackout. And I said, excuse me? Hello? What did you say? And she was like, I'm serious. And I said, no, you're not. I said, are you playing? And then she was like, no. And she was like, I need you to call everyone and tell everyone. And once you're done screaming, like, get it together and call everyone. So then I text everyone and I said, I need you to lay down, like, horizontally, wherever you are. Angie's driving. So I'm like, shit. So everyone lays down and they report back and I text it. And they're like, wait, what? And so then I call every single one of them. Nikki's like, oh my God, wait, what? Oh my God. This can't be true. Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys think? Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm sweating. Like, she kept saying it over and over again, right? I call Angie. She's driving. I say it. I'm on speaker. her and her mother start screaming at the top of their lungs. She has to pull over, screaming. I have to drop the phone because it's like so loud. And
You should be
Zoraida,
used to black women screaming like that. Like, come on.
Zoraida's in the next room, and she's like, "Oh my God, something's wrong. Something has gone wrong." She's like, crazy. I called her. If you were like, "Bitch, what?" You were like, "Their bodies. Oh my God. Like, oh my God." You were,
And then I'm like, stop playing with me.
yes. She starts to cuss me out.
I like these type of games.
She starts to cuss me out. And then she's like, "I can't tell my mother. I can't tell my mom." I was like, "Why did your mommy like that?" She's like, "I can't say anything."
When I tell you, I did not tell my mother until the day before the announcement
So
because I
weird.
was like, I don't want you guys to pull the rug from me. And I tell.
And all of Jamaica knows. The whole island.
I was so upset, so embarrassed. I was not going down that way, so I kept that to myself. Right? I knew it was my therapist. Like, and no one knew.
Nic was just like, she was just quiet on the phone for a long. I was like, "Hello, hello."
And then I went, wow, I'm really glad I laid down.
Yeah, exactly. And she wouldn't pick up the phone.
Yeah.
She wouldn't pick up the phone.
Ashley.
I robocalled her, Tiffany, Nic, and then once she did, and I told her, she hung up on me. She was like, "What?" Click. Like
Peppa Pig your ass, man. Just Peppa Pig left and right.
me.
And so it's going to be a movie and a TV show, right?
Yes.
I am so hyped to see how that comes about. Next time you chat with them, tell Michelle that I love her book. Tell Barack I haven't read his yet, but it's on my TBR.
No, we're not. We're absolutely not telling him that. We're gonna tell him that you read it.
Tell the girls I said hi. Okay. I have one more question before I ask a bunch of like super like well a little mini game. We'll get into that in a second. But who would your Blackout character most get along with from your respective novels? So the novels that you have all written individually. Who would your Blackout character most get along with? And if you don't volunteer, you will
I'm actually gonna say my Blackout Tammy would really get along with Mari from White Smoke.
Yeah.
I
I see
think
that.
I think they're both kind of like sarcastic
Yeah.
in some way, and
Yeah.
you know, cracking jokes, but also get like they both suffer from anxiety. So they both kind of get each other. Like they're not interested in doing what they don't want to do. So yeah, I think they would actually be perfect for each
and
other.
they can fight bed bugs and rats together.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
They need Mary to help fight those bed bugs.
For real.
They really
Who's
need
next?
Mary.
I'll go before you start poking at people.
I know. I'm dying to use it.
You are, but we're like, no, Adam, we're not doing that. So I think JJ and Tremaine would get along great with Coop, Golly, and Britton from Odd One Out.
Yeah.
Like they would be very tight and would just love each other a lot. I actually kind of want to write fan fiction of my own work. Maybe I will.
I can go. I feel like oh shit, I'm forgetting my character's name.
I've forgotten mine. Don't worry. I'm sitting here trying to remember.
Her name's
mine.
Nella. Nella from Blackout would definitely get along with Cleo because they're both from When You Were Everything. Because they're both super sensitive, and very clingy, and I feel like they would just be best friends and like love each other. Yes, agreed.
I don't think my characters. Lana is too anxious to be in a fantasy novel. She would be dead. So she would not survive the bells. She'd be anxious with her notebook.
Tiny Pretty Things is pretty cutthroat too, though.
Exactly. She's not going to make it. So we shouldn't even play her. She's too sweet and too into her notebooks and her little footnotes. She's not going to make it. And Tiny Pretty Things, she's definitely not making it in
Yeah,
battle.
no. Could she do Marvelers, middle grade?
Maybe she can go to magic school, but she'll be like a nerd and it's fine.
No, she'll be in the corner.
She'll be thriving in her corner. Like, let her have her moment.
Footnotes and like scrapbooks. So maybe she'll survive magic school because she's
Love
studious.
it.
She has a good memory.
I'll go.
Yeah, Adam.
I'll go. I think Seymour from my story would get along really well with Dhonielle from The Sun Is Also a Star. Because philosophical poet types. And I think they would like each other and eat. I think, a lot of Jamaican food and a lot of Korean food.
I can't remember my main. You just wanted to point. I can't remember my main character's name.
Kayla.
Thank you.
I want to put Kayla and Matt together, but he might get her pregnant.
I was gonna say no.
That is true, Angie. Why you playing? It's true. Don't laugh like that. You know how Matt is.
No, I was gonna say Maverick can give her advice on dealing with two people. You know,
and a child, and he can also give her a child.
Yeah, like,
oh Lord, she's gonna kill us after this.
She's gonna murder me.
I co-sign, so I will die.
You're no better. Oh my God, Maverick is not that fertile.
I don't know, Angie. I'm not sure.
You remember the
And
book?
we've taken a turn. So, all right.
Quick turn from big O's to pregnancies. What
about Trayshawn and Bree?
I think they would get along. Yeah.
Cool. Love it. All right. So I'm going to ask 10 most likely to questions. If you think that your character would do this, just raise your hand or shout it out or whatever. Just if your character would like vibe with this. Most likely to tear up the dance floor. Okay. Most likely to host SNL. No one? All right. Respect. Most likely to become president. Most likely to watch the Kardashians. Yo, Kim was pretty funny on SNL. I don't know if you saw that shit, but like,
yes,
wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
She really was.
Most likely to publish a book.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely
Most likely to petty unfollow someone on Instagram.
Absolutely.
The whole book.
Yeah.
The whole book. Every single one of them.
Except for Seymour.
Yeah. Most likely.
No places ass. Yes, definitely unfollow it. Yes.
Grace would. But Seymour would not.
Seymour would not. But
Grace would. Yeah.
Most likely to fake their own death.
my you know how to do it from reading.
Most likely to be a host on a bachelor type show.
The host?
Like, or the main person.
AJ.
Oh, the main person? Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
the main person.
Angie, I feel like your character.
She's already the
She's already the bachelorette.
Character.
Exactly.
bachelorette.
Most likely to do a haunted tour.
No.
Okay. And lastly, most likely to go to a midnight release of a movie. Love it. Cool. I just wanted to know. I just had random questions.
I love it.
All right. So we do have a few audience questions now that I will turn to. This is. Oh, these are fun. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to. Which one I want to ask first? Okay, from Catalina. Why did you choose New York as the location for the book?
Dhonielle.
As Dhonielle said, though.
I just felt like New York had come to a standstill and it was really scary to watch on the news, seeing Times Square being empty, seeing neighborhoods being empty, seeing, you know what I mean, only hearing sirens. It felt like a little bit of like the world had stopped because New York kind of can represent the world in a lot of ways. So I felt like it was such a big statement to see a blackout in that city, which COVID-19 felt like the world had blacked out. And it felt like, you know what I mean, that would be the perfect metaphor.
And honestly, like this city, and this is not just because we're from here, has such a amazing magic about it that when you add love to it, like it really does spark. And so we don't see enough of that in, media. Usually when you see like stories about New York, especially New York kids, it's like bang, bang, shoot 'em up, like hood stuff.
Right.
And I wanted to, as someone who has fallen in love as a teenager in New York City, like I wanted to see our stories being really represented. So
Also, there are like a lot of Black people in New York, and that was important. And I don't say that flippantly. Like, it can be hard thinking about where to set a story with 12 Black kids. Like, that's like you can't just like drop them in the suburbs of Pennsylvania. Like, that's just not a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But also, like, you see so many like movies in New York, and like there are never any Black people in them. Like, very few. Like, you'll see them in the crowd scenes, you know, like the outside shots with all the extras. But then, like, in the story, you're like, what happened to the people? I don't know.
Yep.
Like Friends, like Sex and the City. There's so many, and I'm like, but we're here.
But where we at?
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in Sex in the City. let that mess like exist in itself. Okay, this is a question from Tiffany. How would your characters react to a blackout during the winter time? So I guess like same situation for a blackout, but also it's cold as shit. Like, Tiffany, you're still doing the long walk? Or
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Everyone be inside. there is no leaving. That is literally, what is that movie? The Day After Tomorrow?
Yes. Oh my God.
right.
Nope.
Yes, that's basically what we would be doing.
Hunkering down.
Hunkering down, yes.
Yeah, we would have stayed in the library.
These are also
But they burn the books in the library.
I know, that's why I can't handle that movie.
It doesn't matter. Like, we're kids, we're like resilient, but we're also not like expeditionists. Like, we ain't going outside.
Yeah.
Like,
We're not outside. The best story about this is my kid is just like not outdoorsy at all. He loves being outside, but like the second there's like a bug or something, like there was a butterfly on my terrace, and I saw it, and I think its wing was like broken or something because it was like flying kind of erratically. And my son was like playing with like some toys or whatever, and then he turned around, he saw it, and he said, "Mama, house." I'm like, dude, it's a butterfly. It's okay.
Go inside.
Well,
It's a sign.
so this actually ties beautifully with this next question from Vroman, which I love. Out of the people on the panel, who do you think would handle a blackout the best? So
Tiffany. And Angie. So Angie would have. She would have her generator. She got like her supplies that would last for 3 years. She got a bunker in the house. Like Angie would take it well, and Tiffany would too.
I literally,
I got a room just full of toilet tissue right now.
Her zombie apocalypse kit is in the closet.
I'm ready at all times.
Oh, I told you that was gonna happen.
Okay, well then, you know, especially with Angie with like tornado warnings all the time, it's just like you've got to be like prepared for shit. So who would handle a blackout like, I don't know, like the suckiest?
Poorly.
Who would suck at a blackout?
Ashley would be the worst.
Yes,
Dhonielle would not be good either.
Dhonielle would be like, "Oh, it's hot. Where's the air? Oh my God."
And Ashley would be like, "Okay, well, we're dying now, so we're obviously dying." And
she would just be crying. She would just cry. She would cry her way through the blackout. I would just be like, "Oh no, what are we gonna do? What if we run out of food? What if we run out of toilet paper? What if we can't flush the toilet? What if this blah blah blah?" Like, I would be going through my worst camping nightmares. Like, I'd be like, "There are zombies coming. Like, what are we gonna do? What if I have to eat sardines? I don't know what to do. Like, I'm gonna
It's over. I can't. Thank you.
I have to learn."
Meanwhile, I'm like, "Is my butler's pantry stocked? Like, is the bar stocked? Are we okay? Are we good there? Okay, we're good. Like, I don't know how long this is gonna last, but we're just gonna ease our way through it."
I'm gonna put a tranquilizer in my Miss Judy pack so that someone could just stick me with it so I can.
We're just gonna go to bed.
I always say that, like, if there is a zombie apocalypse, I just want to go in the first wave.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
take me out.
Just take me.
Take
because
me.
I don't want to be out here trying to survive. Like, also, why are you trying to survive? Everything is
I so agree with that. I just had this discussion with David. I was like, why do you want to, who wants to survive the
live in this horrible.
I mean, like, I would just to be able to be like,
I'm here to the
I
end.
survived that.
same.
I have not watched like 17,000 episodes of Walking Dead to just sit here and be
Also, like, what do I look like getting took out by a dead person? Like, no, we're not doing that. Like, this is a challenge. You're challenging me right now. Like, you're dead. I'm alive. I win. Like, I'm not losing this. This is not a thing I'm losing.
And people have questions about sardines. Those are things that you keep to eat. When you
Somebody doesn't know it's sardine.
Yeah, you keep the sardines because you can.
I maybe it's just
I think they're questioning your decision.
I think they're like, why are we talking about sardines?
In the survival kit, the sardines, and I don't eat that, so I'm nervous.
I think it'd be spam before it was sardines.
I'll eat
Just
spam.
saying.
We can cook it up like Hawaiian style. I'll eat
With
that.
this, fry it up.
Fry it up.
And with some bologna.
Yes.
My vegan ass is disgusted by this entire sentence. So I'm going to ask one last question. What is coming up next for all of you individually? What books can we look forward to if you can or can't talk about it? Or I mean, if you can't talk about it, then you won't talk about it. But what's publishing next for you?
Oh, I quit. No, I'm just playing.
Cool. All right. Well, bye.
No, next for me is the next published book will be the third book in the Shuri series. It comes out January 2nd.
Venom.
Oh yeah.
Which way are we going? Are you gonna push? Okay, do it. Go for it.
Dhonielle.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, also, Mark. Yes. So toilets do stop working when the power goes out in some buildings. So I'm just saying. But anyways, I had to evacuate from Hurricane Sandy, honey. Okay. So I have a lot of books out next year. I actually have 4. The first one, Shattered Midnight, because it was bumped because it's in quarantine with coronavirus. So it comes out January 18th, 2022. And then I have The Rumor Game, which comes out March 3rd, which it's like 3 girls and a destructive rumor. And then I have my middle grade debut, The Marvelers, that comes out on May 3rd, which is exciting. Come to Magic School with me. And then I have a secret book.
Secret book. What is it?
Can't tell you.
Really, Adam?
I'll text you, Adam.
Yeah. All right.
Tiffany.
Tiffany also has 17 books coming out next year.
Actually, no, that was just this year. I'm almost done. So my next book is actually a picture book, my debut picture book called Santa in the City. That comes out 11/2. Yeah, 11/2. Jesus. And then after that is my next horror novel that comes out next September. It's called The Weight of Blood. It is a remix of Carrie set at a school's first integrated prom.
So good.
Y'all are gonna be mad. You're gonna be mad just like with every other Tiffany Jackson book. You're gonna be mad.
I think it's fine.
Of course you do.
It's fine. And that's it. See?
Oh, you have more?
I have a secret book too.
No.
Yeah,
You do. We all do.
Yeah, we all do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's Nick. So.
Nic Stone.
Shuri, plus literally. Okay, so there's Shuri in January, and then there's literally 3 other books that I can't talk about any of them.
Yeah. All right. So then moving. Who is
me?
Ashley.
My next one is April of next year, and it's my novel in verse, and it's called Nothing Burns as Bright as You.
Be thou prepared to be destroyed utterly.
Yeah.
Gorgeous cover. So next is
Angie Thomas.
I'm landing on different people.
Let's see.
That's actually impressive.
Yeah, book-wise, I'm working on my first middle grade. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's a middle grade fantasy novel. I don't know the date yet. But I have like other projects. Like we're starting to film on the come up in a week and a half in Atlanta. So we're gonna be filming the movie for that and gonna have some announcements. I'm just gonna tell y'all, like, Method Man is in the movie and I'm so excited. Like, it hasn't even been announced yet, but Method Man is in the movie and I'm just so excited about that. Like,
Holy shit.
yeah. And then I have another project that hasn't been announced yet that I had gotten some good news about. So you should be hearing about that soon
Yay.
on the small screen.
Okay.
Oh, and I got a puppy who came over here to nudge me. 'cause
Kobe.
he's like, Mama.
And then Nikki, I'm gonna just tap your name so you don't feel left out.
I have one secret book and then really secret things that I cannot talk about.
Love it. This is the
All we will say is that Nikki, like, dead ass has her own imprint, so we're just
Yes.
gonna lay that down and walk away.
Joy Revolution.
Hey,
Well, Blackout team, fam, this was so lovely. Nick, thanks for bullying me into doing this. Dhonielle, thank you for bullying everyone into
yeah,
doing
I
this.
learned it from Dhonielle. I learned it well.
We all got to hang out tonight because of Dhonielle Clayton. So thank
Leadership
you.
skills.
Love it.
Thanks, Adam. This was so much fun.
We
We love you,
Yeah.
Adam.
Yo, let me know
love
on the next
you, Adam.
Blackout book. Damn. Weird as shit,
Wait,
Dhonielle.
you gotta tell them about your books, Adam. What you have coming.
What's
Correct.
next for you?
The second What If It's Us novel, aka the conclusion to that story with Becky Albertalli, it publishes on December 28th, and it's called Here's to Us. And it just got its first star review from Kirkus, and which we haven't announced yet, but now you know. See, this is the benefit of coming to events and supporting independent bookstores. You get to learn about Method
You
Man
get
and
the
starred
secret.
reviews.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yes,
one's more
yes.
exciting than the other, and it's Method Man, but still.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. The chat, like, you guys were so active. You guys are great. Thank you so much for tuning in, especially for those of you who are on the East Coast. I know it's pretty late for you guys. If you would like a copy of Blackout, just click on the green purchase button. It'll take you directly to our website. And for those of you who tuned in late, don't worry, a replay of this talk will be available. And if you were here this entire time, well, there were some hilarious conversations, so you can rewatch those once the broadcast ends. All right, I think that about does it. Have a good night, everyone, and stay safe.
Thanks. Good night.
Bye.
Bye, Kobe.
Bye, Kobe, little furfy booby.